everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolyn and this is my FlossTube channel, Carolyn Stitches, a channel about cross stitch, my journey through cross stitch, the projects I'm working on, and occasionally I will share some other projects such as knitting or quilting or crochet, counted canvas needlework if I happen to work on any of those projects this week or during this update. Today is Saturday, April 30th, I believe, and this is FlossTube number, I have no idea. If you are watching it, you know what FlossTube number it is. So I'd like to say thank you to all my returning subscribers, all my returning viewers. Thank you for coming back and joining me, and I want to give a big welcome to all my new subscribers. I have had quite a few new subscribers recently, and thank you for stopping over and joining me and joining me in my journey in cross stitch. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of FlossTubers, and I know one mentioned me, and I do appreciate it. And I went back and I watched all of her videos, and she's such a lovely stitcher. I believe she's in Canada, and her name is Amanda at Lucky Chance Stitches. Yes, Lucky Chance Stitches. I'll put everything down below. She is working on some fabulous projects, and I just love her craft room. She's got a wall of floss behind her. She's working on this Mill Hill with the houses where she has them all on one big piece of fabric. She's got a Thomas Kincaid Cinderella, and I love Cinderella. She's got one of those Thomas Kincaid full coverage Cinderellas that she's working on. She just has some lovely stitches, and she seems so nice. But thank you, Amanda, for the lovely comments. And from Amanda, I heard about the Traveling Stocking Stitcher. That's a stitcher. She stitches Christmas stockings, a lot of Christmas stockings, and she shares all of her stockings and modifications she's made to them, how she's taken some other designs and turned them into stockings, like the lavender and lace. I think it was Celtic Christmas, how she stitched that and turned it into a stocking. So she was interesting to watch, something different. It's all stockings. And one day I will tackle a stocking. I have a few in mind that I'd like to do. So maybe it'll inspire me to start one. And another new to me FlossTuber that I watched, and I had a blast watching her videos, is Amy at Fiber Arts Amy. I think she's in Pittsburgh. She has, I like her approach to the stitching. She stitches what she wants, when she wants, how she wants, approaches her stitching and doesn't have a set way that she goes. She pretty much starts in the middle and then just goes where the flow takes her. I'm with you on the loop start on some of this hand-dyed stuff. I loop start it. I don't have a problem with it. I know I'm probably breaking the rules, but it works for me too. She stitches a ton of Mirabilias. She's got some beautifully framed Mirabilias that she'll share with you. And she's got a couple videos where she goes through her Mirabilia Nora Corbett stash, which I feel for you on that also. I was just putting some stuff away and found I had a duplicate of one. So go check those stitchers out. I was watching them, had them running the other day on my tablet while I was working and listening to them and enjoying their stitching. So this week, what's been going on since the last month? Not much, just working. Work. It's work. It's pretty much what we do is work. Got a lot of stitching in. I am looking forward to next Saturday. I am going up to Brick City Cross Stitch, Saturday, May 7th, Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida, for Stitching with the Flossies. I'm so happy I was one of the FlossTubers that they asked to attend. They were looking at Florida FlossTubers who are like Brick City stitchers. So we've gone to a lot of Brick City retreats. We shop at Brick City a lot. So we're pretty, pretty known at Brick City, and we're Florida FlossTubers. So and I'm sorry, I may leave somebody out. I don't have notes, but I know it's myself. I'll be there next Saturday. And Chrissy from Finally a Farm Girl, Erin from Perpetual Projects, Stacy from Stacy Stitches, and I want to say, and don't get mad at me if I got it wrong, but I want to say it's Melissa from Neely's Needle Nest, I think. But I will list that below. It was an event you had to pre-register for, limited seating, and then you get a stitch with a floss tuber. And I think what we're going to do is us floss tubers are going to switch tables. Every so often, the floss tubers are going to rotate tables so you have a chance to talk to all of us. And then I think I'm bringing some finishes and some whips to share with everybody. So I got to look through my finishes and see which finishes I want to bring and which whips I want to bring. So it's only one day. I'll probably bring a bunch of whips, but it's not like I'm going to work on all the whips. So I am looking forward to that next Saturday. I am going to try again. It's a 4-hour drive for me, so I'm going to try again on Friday. I'm heading up Friday because it's a 4-hour drive. I'm going to head up Friday, and I'm going to try again to hit Carolyn's Frame Up in Lakeland. It's a little out of the way, but I'm going to try to see if they'll be open on Friday and hit Carolyn's Frame Up in Lakeland, Florida. And since I couldn't go to them when I went up to Sanford in March, I couldn't go to them. So I'm going to try. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into the stitching. What I got? I have a finish. I have new starts and finish. They're smalls. And then I have a whip I worked on. I was pretty monogamous this week. And then I have a few haul. And then I'll share my plans. So this will probably be a quick video. So let's get into it. Let's start with my finish. And my finish is Let's Talk Stitching by Hands On Design. It's part of the Chalk Talk series. And I stitched it on Fiberlicious Hidden Treasures, a 32 count Jobeline. That's the fabric I stitched it on. I actually have some fabric left over, so I stitched it on Hidden Treasures. And I'm doing this as a stitch along, well, sorry, Stephanie. I kind of got started on it and finished it. But this is a stitch along I was doing with Stephanie at Sew Glover Creations. We had a stitchy day or a meet together day at Market in March. We got together. We were supposed to start this on that day. We got too busy talking and playing here in the sewing room, and we never got to stitch that day. But I know Stephanie is working on hers. I saw that she's at a retreat this weekend, and I hope she's having fun. And I saw that she's working on hers. And Stephanie is doing hers pretty cool because if you watch Stephanie over at Sew Glover Creations, she loves glow in the dark. And I know I think she put UFO and hoop. And so she's doing some of the words. She's replacing with glow in the dark thread. So it looks pretty cool when she turns the lights out. So let's talk stitching. And if you've followed me, which if not, go back and see some prior videos where I share these. But I always stitch these on a different color fabric. I don't do them on the black it calls for, or the slate, or whatever it calls for. So this is Let's Talk Stitching on the Hidden Treasures. And I love how that came out. I think it looks really good. And I'll frame it like the others I kind of have here. I'll just put it in a frame. And it'll probably get hung here in my sewing room. So I think this yellow is going to pop out really nicely on my bluish walls. So there is Let's Talk Stitching. All of the called for DMCs. I didn't substitute. I used all the called for DMCs. So that's Let's Talk Stitching. And, okay, so next I had some new starts, and they are also finishes. So the next new start is Flamingo Christmas by Stony Creek. And it uses blending. Let me see here if I can show you. Sorry, I still have it in the bag. It uses blending filament. So it uses a red and an aqua blending filament. And it has some buttons. So this is Flamingo Christmas. And I stitched this on 32 count Lugana Vintage Country Atlantic. I didn't even realize this. I know there's like Vintage Country Mocha, but I didn't know there was Vintage Country Atlantic. So I picked this fabric up down at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. And they have this as a finished model there at the store. So I stitched this one. This took a few days to stitch, and I got the buttons sewed on it. I gotta finish it. I gotta get this finished. It's for an exchange. So there is Flamingo Christmas. Very cute. I love it on this fabric. And I had to think carefully about the placement on the fabric because, you know, you could have held the fabric like this and the background design would have been vertical. So I placed the fabric this way so the background design is more horizontal, which I felt looked more like water or the ocean waves or water rippling. So Flamingo Christmas. Okay, so that was a new start and a finish. And then I had two other new starts and finishes. One is Jim Shore Mill Hill Kit White Egg. I stitched these around Easter. I was feeling a little seasonal. So this is a Jim Shore Mill Hill Kit White Egg. And these are two-sided. So you stitch the front of the chick and the back of the chick. And there's the front of the chick and the back of the chick and all the little beads. So I need to cut these out, place them, you know, back to back, cut it out, place it back to back, and then whip stitch them together. So I still have to finish them. But what I did notice, it just seemed, when I was stitching it, I don't know, it seemed brighter in the picture. Like the back of the chick seemed brighter in the picture. But now that I'm kind of holding it up, maybe it's because it's my ring light reflecting on it. It looks, the back of the chick looks brighter. But that's pretty cute. I got all of these chicks to stitch up. These are fun. I like doing these when I need a instant gratification. So a lot of my projects are big projects and they take a while to stitch. So I do like when I have something, sometimes especially when I have a finish, like with the Let's Talk Stitching, I like to just whip out a few small things. It makes me feel accomplished. This next one is a Mill Hill kit from the Spring Bouquet collection. It's called Dragonfly Egg. And this one is all beads. There's no floss. You use the floss to stitch the beads. You use white floss to stitch the beads, but it is all beads. All of that is beads, which I like these. They go fast because I'm not switching floss. I have like a tacky bob, or I think, what do they call them today? Tacky bills or something they just came out with. And so I just sort my beads onto that, make myself a little cheat sheet about which bead is which. And I never have to change my floss color. I just keep loading it with white floss, and I just work row by row by row and pick up the bead color as I go across. So these take just a couple days to finish. And they're all, I don't know how well I can see it. It's all beads. So it's Dragonfly Egg. So I still need to cut it out and back it and finish it. So that is my finish and my new starts and finish. The only other thing I worked on, and I pulled this out, is one of my whips. I went and dove in my whip pile and decided it was time to work on the Blue Flower Moonlight Sampler. I started this last year after it came out at market. I started to stitch along. Hopefully, you know, you might be stitching along with me. It's Moonlight Sampler Sal, S-A-L, on Instagram. And I started this last year, right after market, like as soon as it came in from market, got all the flosses, found a fabric, and started it. And I'm stitching it on a 32 count linen called Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit. This is huge. This is huge. So to show you what I stitched, when I picked it up, I stitched, I finished Night, and I stitched this moth and the little hook coming out for the lantern. So I stitched Night and the moth, and then I switched over to this side and I stitched, oh goodness, hold on, see if I can hold this up. It's so big, and I just took it out of the Q-snaps and ironed it and everything. So I stitched these flowers, and then I stitched from like here down. That's what I worked on. So I have found the bottom. This is the bottom of the pattern here. I started, this is like the head for the sloth and his little feet. I got that in, the bat, the beaver. Sorry, I'm just thinking about when I was stitching this beaver, I had a song stuck in my head. But I got this lantern done. So these flowers, all of this down to the side, the lantern, all of this here, I'm in the alphabet. So this is Winter, 32 count Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit. There we go. And it's Moonlight Sampler. Just love this. I know you can see through it, but it's so big, I don't have nothing big enough really to put behind it. So I just think it's gorgeous. Okay, so that was my whip that I worked on. I'm tempted. I'm half tempted. Like I kind of want to go put it back in the Q-Snap and keep working on it because I'm down here in the alphabet and that'll go by pretty quick. But I think I'm gonna put it aside for a little while. I had plans of having it ready for the contest this year at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. My local L&S store, the Cross Stitch Cupboard in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has an annual contest where her customers will bring in a finished stitch piece and she'll display it, and her other customers get a vote on their favorite. So I had grand plans that I was going to have this finished and framed and everything ready for the contest. Not happening. So I'm going to go through my finishes and pick something, my finishes from this year, and pick something else out to enter in her contest. Her rules are, it's pretty simple, pretty much stitched in the past year or finished in the past year, and the pattern still has to be in print because she will have patterns available in her store. So if you see the finished stitch piece, you can buy the pattern. So she does require that it be an in-print pattern, because you know how frustrating it is if you were to go in there and I had, say, my Mirabilia Maidens of the Season, the giant one that I stitched, and I had that displayed and all that, and you loved it, you loved it, you loved it, and then only to find out, yeah, you can't get it. It's out of print. That would be pretty frustrating. So I do understand why she requires that it has to be in print. So let's do my plans, or what plans I kind of threw together 5 minutes before the video. And then I'll show you, I'll share some haul with you that I got. So plans are, I am going to the Brick City Cross Stitch Stitching with the Flossies next Saturday, and I will bring a few more whips than what I'm going to show you. And my plans change. Like I'm with Amy at Fiber Arts. Amy, man, I feel you, Amy. I may have plans, but it'll change. It'll be like what I sit down and what I feel like working on. I mean, I may say I won't start anything new, but I may get an itch and start something new. I was digging through some things, sorting some stuff out, and I was like, man, I really want to start that. And part of me's like, well, you got a lot of whips. Well, why not? But we'll see. So I'm going to figure out which whips to bring with me to Stitching with the Flossies, because I'm going to share some whips that I have. But until then, between now and Stitching with the Flossies, that I pulled out a project to work on that I will put in the Q-Snap and work on today. And this project is my I'm a Stitcher by My Big Toe, and it just has a poem on it about I'm a Stitcher. I'm a Stitcher and I hoard, and if you were to see the rest of my sewing room, I don't know the cost of a hoard. I'm a collector. I'm a collector. So I am going to work on this, and this is on a 32 count linen by Seraphim Fabrics called Summer Storm. I have the top half of it stitched. I've started the border, so I think I'm going to concentrate this weekend and see if I can get the border done. That's the border with the flowers. See if I can get the border done and come across and get that done hopefully this weekend, and then maybe next week I'll move the Q-Snap and I can get the other half of the letters in. I'm using like a DMC color variations or something. I'm not using a lot of the called for floss. So I'm using, I think I got DMC, I think this is DMC 4025. My project bag is across the room. But this is like DMC 4025 is what I'm using the letters. And I have substituted some other colors that you haven't seen yet. They're up here in the border. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to throw that in the Q-Snap today. It has been rainy and storming here in South Florida for the last couple days. So it's a good day to stay in and stitch. But I do know later this afternoon, we are going to go up and visit my parents and go out to dinner with my parents. But tomorrow, it should be possibly a rainy day where it'll be perfect to sit inside and stitch and maybe watch the new Batman movie. I mean, that's like 3 hours. So that's a good 3 hours of stitching. Well, 3+ hours of stitching because we always have to pause it for wet restroom breaks. Good 3 hours plus of stitching there. But we'll see what I get done. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to start, crinkle, crinkle. My mom gave me this. She really wants it stitched. Hi, Mom. I know you're watching. She really wants it stitched. This Design Works Feathered Stars. I think I'll get it out and get the fabric prepped. It's on an Aida in the kit, a 14 count Aida. I'm going to look to see if maybe I have a 28 count Lugana in white or opalescent, or even if I have it in a pale blue or something. I'm going to see what I have in my stash, because this kit fabric to me is just, I have nothing against Aida. I stitch on Aida. I have a lot of stitches on Aida, but this stuff is just like stitching on cardboard. I can't handle it. So I'm going to try to look through my stash and see what I have. If not, I'm going to Brick City next week, and Jean has a ton of new fabrics in. If you go to her Facebook group, Brick City Stitchers, I think, one of the ladies shared a video of all the new fabric she has, and she has a ton of fabric. So Jean is my fabric hookup. She's my fabric dealer. I'm going to go up there and get my fix on fabric. Okay, so haul. I was very good this month, and I have a few hauls, and that's it. So these I actually bought back in August or July or September of last year, and the patterns came in very quickly, but the embellishment pack did not come in so fast. It took about 6 months for the embellishment pack, and I almost forgot about them. So I bought Night Nymph by Mirabilia and Day Nymph by Mirabilia. And finally came in the embellishment packs. And I think it took so long because of the Valdani. These actually come with the Valdani floss. So the embellishment packs came in for Night Nymph and Day Nymph. And I have been waiting for these since, I don't know, July, August of last year. And then I also got this Cotton Pixels 3D Easter Bunny. I think he's adorable. There's one I think I saw with a cat that I may get, but this one, this was really cute. And then I got the Work Basket Have Carrots by the Work Basket. Sorry for the glare. So I was really good. And the last piece of haul I got, I couldn't resist. If you've noticed at the beginning of my videos or on my Instagram or whatever, I have a new logo for my channel, Carolyn Stitches. It's incorporating my two cats, Tranquility, or Quill as we call him, because he was named Tranquility from the shelter, and just try to call Tranquility. It's like Tranquility, Tranquility. It's like, it's too long of a name. So we've nicknamed him and shortened his name to Quill. I like to think of it as Quill, Peter Quill from Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. But it's Tranquility. It's Quill. He's Quill for short. And then we have our little calico female, Spirit. And so my good friend Carrie Lynn was so kind. She designed me a logo, and I took that logo and went over to Vistaprint, and I made myself a bag, a project bag. I had one made to carry my whips and stuff and my projects. So when I go on retreats and different stuff, I have my bag. So I love my bag. It turned out so well, and I love my new logo. Thank you so much, Carrie Lynn. You are awesome. I will be at StitchCon Weekend B in June, and my friend Carrie Lynn is supposed to join me also for Weekend B at StitchCon StitchCon Weekend B in June, and my friend Helen will be joining me for StitchCon Weekend B in June, and I'm so excited to do that. I'm treating it as a birthday weekend because my birthday is the day I fly back is my birthday, so I'm treating that as a birthday weekend with my friends, and so looking forward to it. Look at this. This is a short one for me, and I'm loving it. So I am going to wrap this up. I thank everyone for watching me. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions on anything, please leave me a comment below. I love to read your comments and respond to your comments. And once again, thank you to all the new viewers who have stopped by. I'm trying to get back to watching more of my FlossTube, but my husband likes to watch car stuff with either drag racing cars or drag racing, which I don't mind, but he watches drag racing, he watches the Moonshiners, and then he likes to watch the shows all day on TV where they do nothing but fix cars or play with cars. He's a mechanic, I get it. He doesn't get a lot of TV time, but I don't like listening to it, so I've been putting on book on tapes and listening to audiobooks while I stitch. I did work on the wallpaper in our room a little bit, and spackling walls, so I've been listening to audiobooks. I gotta come up with a setup that I can kind of prop up a tablet somewhere on the corner of my armchair and watch my FlossTubes with my headphones in. I gotta figure out a setup for that on my stitchy chair, where I can watch FlossTube on my phone or my tablet while he's watching his car stuff and catch up on FlossTube. But I have been having it set up to the side. I've been eBaying a lot lately and had a lot of eBay stuff going on. So while I was doing my eBay job on the weekends, I had FlossTube up off the side too, watching it and trying to catch up on everybody. But I'm going to try to do better and watch more. There's just so many FlossTubers. But it's good to see. It's good to see that the craft is, staying alive. That's what's important. It's sad to hear that there's brick and mortars shutting down. I've heard of a couple brick and mortars that are closing, which is sad to lose the brick and mortars. Yeah, the on-store shops, they're nice. They're a convenience is all for a lot of people who don't have brick and mortars in their area. But I do like to go to a brick and mortar, even if I have to drive an hour, hour and a half, 3 hours. I'll drive to a brick and mortar because I like to see the fabrics in person. I like to see the models in person. I like the one-on-one personal service that you get at a brick and mortar store. So try to support your local needlework shops. It will be sad if they all close down and leave, but try to support your local needlework shops. And I'll get off my soapbox, and I will wish everybody a very wonderful day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your May. Hope you get a lot of stitching in. For those who are doing Mania, good luck. Have fun with it. I will watch your videos and follow along with you. I wish you the best on your Mania plans, but my Mania will be whatever I feel like it. And I will catch up with everybody again at the end of May. So thank you and enjoy your stitching. Have a good day. Bye.